Welcome to Royal Daily Report, your trusted source for royal family news and analysis. I'm bringing you today's breaking story about a major shift in the British monarchy. Don't forget to subscribe to Royal Daily Report for more exclusive royal updates. Prince William just made a move so harsh, so exact, it changed the future of the monarchy forever, while everyone else was waiting for another family fight. William went somewhere far more serious, the very base of the monarchy itself. And once you touch that, nothing can be undone. Harry and Meghan thought the titles were permanent. They were wrong. There's a moment when family stops being family and starts becoming a problem. That moment already happened. Prince William didn't wake up angry. He didn't suddenly lose control. He didn't lash out. And that's the scariest part, because anger makes mistakes. Anger burns out, but calm makes plans. At some point, William stopped seeing Harry as his younger brother and started seeing him as something else entirely, a danger. Not to his feelings, but to the institution, to the crown, to the future. And once someone becomes a threat to an institution like the monarchy, feelings stop mattering. This isn't about forgiveness anymore. It's about control. William isn't trying to win an argument. He's trying to end a problem permanently. And that means no public fighting, no messy confrontations, no opportunities for sympathy or good publicity, just quiet decisions that close doors forever. Remember to subscribe to Royal Daily Report for more updates like this. Harry believed blood would protect him. That being family meant there would always be a way back. But William crossed a line Harry didn't even see. The line between being a brother and being a future king. And kings don't negotiate with threats, they remove them. William knew feelings wouldn't solve this, so he removed them from the conversation entirely. When he approached his father, he didn't come as a hurt brother or a frustrated son. He came as a future king, protecting the institution he will one day inherit. No accusations, no begging, just facts. The pattern was clear. The damage was continuing, and the risk was growing. William didn't ask for understanding. He asked for authority. And that difference mattered because once authority is given, the process stops being personal. It becomes procedural, quiet, legal, unstoppable. This is the heart of the problem, and the reason William's move is so devastating. For years, Harry and Meghan lived in a gray zone that never should have existed. Not working royals, but still royal. Not representing the crown, but still benefiting from the connection. Not inside the system, but never fully outside it either. That confusion wasn't accidental. It was useful. It allowed flexibility, power, and branding, and it blurred responsibility. William saw that gray zone for what it really was, a loophole. And institutions don't survive loopholes. They get destroyed by them. So, William closed it. No more confusion. No more half-in, half-out identities. No more picking and choosing privileges. Either you serve the crown and carry its authority, or you don't. And if you don't, the status goes with it. This wasn't dramatic. It was clean, simple, surgical. And once the gray zone disappears, so does the fantasy that Harry still belongs to something bigger than himself. Stay with Royal Daily Report for complete coverage of this developing story. From this point forward, there is no flexibility, no interpretation, no space to move around, only structure. And structure doesn't bend. This is where the damage stops being just theory and becomes personal. Royal titles don't fade slowly. They don't get downgraded. They don't stay in limbo. When they're gone, they're gone. And what disappears with them isn't just status, it's identity. Harry doesn't lose relevance. He loses designation. He stops being Prince Harry in any official sense. Not symbolically, not emotionally, structurally, legally, on paper. And once that happens, everything built on that identity starts to crack. Names matter in institutions like this. Titles are access. Styling is authority. Without them, there's no backing, no weight, no automatic importance. Just a famous last name and personal opinions. And that's the part people underestimate, because losing a title isn't loud, it's hollowing. One day the doors still open, the next day they don't. Not because someone slammed them shut, but because they were never meant to open anymore. That's not punishment, that's eraser. William didn't stop with the present. He moved straight into the future. Because if this problem is allowed to pass to the next generation, it doesn't end. It multiplies. Titles create gravity. They attract attention, expectation, entitlement. And William understands exactly what happens when children inherit status without responsibility. So, he cut the line before it could form. Royal titles for children aren't automatic. They're granted, and that grant never arrives. Not out of spite, not out of cruelty, but out of strategy. Because once a title exists, it becomes a problem to manage forever. William is building a monarchy that cannot be exploited later by people who never served it in the first place. And that means stopping future power before it has a chance to grow teeth. Don't forget, subscribe to Royal Daily Report for daily royal family news. This isn't about punishment, it's about containment across decades. And once that choice is made, it quietly reshapes the future without ever making headlines. That's how real power works. People keep waiting for a showdown. It's not coming. There will be no public battle because there's nothing to argue against, no ceremony to protest, no confrontation to spin into sympathy, just a quiet update in official records. And suddenly the world looks different. The court listings change, the websites update, the paperwork reflects a new reality, and nothing else happens. No explanation, no justification, no debate. And that silence, that's intentional because once titles vanish, everything built on them starts to wobble. Deals lose their shine. Access loses its value. Interest fades, not out of cruelty, but because the product has changed. People didn't buy into personalities. They bought into closeness to power. And once that closeness is officially taken away, the narrative collapses on its own. There's no villain to fight here, just a system that has moved on and left someone standing outside it. Prince William didn't invent this strategy. He learned it by watching what didn't work. For decades, the monarchy tried patience. It tried waiting things out. It tried hoping scandals would fade with time. And every single time that approach failed, the damage didn't shrink. It spread. William watched what happens when people are allowed to hold royal status without royal responsibility. He watched how scandals stay around when consequences are delayed. He watched how the institution loses credibility while trying to be kind. And he learned one brutal lesson early. Patience doesn't protect the crown. It weakens it. Waiting creates space. Space creates opportunity. And opportunity invites exploitation. Royal Daily Report brings you the truth about what's really happening in the palace. William understands that the monarchy doesn't get second chances from the public. Every unresolved mess stacks on top of the last one until people start asking the question the palace never once asked. Why does this institution still exist? So, William made a decision his predecessors struggled to make. He wasn't going to wait for this problem to resolve itself. He wasn't going to hope Harry would stop. And he definitely wasn't going to leave this mess for his own children to inherit. This ends now, or it never ends at all. This is where the story ends. Not with noise, but with absence. William didn't make this move to win. He didn't do it to prove a point. He did it because monarchies don't survive on sentiment. They survive on structure. And structure doesn't bend for individuals, no matter who they are. A brother might forgive. A king cannot afford to. William understood something that changes everything. Once an institution starts explaining itself, it's already losing. So he didn't explain. He didn't defend. He simply continued forward without the people who no longer fit. And that's the part that feels so final. There's no door left open, no role waiting, no future reconciliation baked into the system. The monarchy William is shaping is smaller, tighter, disciplined, and impossible to exploit. Harry isn't defeated. He's removed from the story entirely. And when that realization finally sets in, there won't be outrage. There won't be shock, just silence, and the unsettling truth that the crown didn't need to destroy anyone. It only needed to keep going without them. And that's how power really ends things. That's all for today's report from Royal Daily Report. This story is still developing, and will continue to bring you updates as they happen. If you found this analysis helpful, please subscribe to Royal Daily Report and hit the notification bell so you never miss our exclusive royal coverage. Thank you for watching Royal Daily Report, where we bring you the real story behind the palace walls.